For Chaboya's 25th anniversary, we compiled a PBL presentation comparing Chaboya 25 years ago to now. This presentation was created by the Then and Now group of Miss Hammond's second period class. We hope you enjoy.
For our first slide, we are comparing sports that were available 25 years ago to now. As you can see, there are many similarities and diversity from then to now. Back then, there were 8 sports: basketball for 6th grade, co-ed soccer, and cheerleading. Now there are 7 sports, and there is boys and girls soccer. Things that we have kept the same are cross-country, basketball for boys and girls, wrestling, volleyball for girls, and softball for girls.
For our next piece of the presentation, we have information on population. Back then, the population was about 660, and there were around 32 teachers at the school. There's less of an Indian population here at Chaboya, but there are more Asians and Hispanics. Back then, the San Jose population was about 788,000.
The population now has increased and it's more diverse. The population for Chaboya is 1,190 and the teacher population is 46. The Asian percent is about 70 and the Caucasian is 13. The Hispanic is 12% and the African American is 3 and others are 2%. The San Jose population is about 1 million.
The third piece of the presentation is about the curriculum 25 years ago to now. 25 years ago, math standards were California standards, opposing to now, we have Common Core standards. Back then, for language arts, we always had writing and grammar, but now we have Common Core, and we focus on argumentative essays more. Back then, there was 6th grade available, but now there's only 7th and 8th grade at Chaboya. There's no school loop back then, so we had to write down homework in our agenda every day, but now we have an online agenda called School Loop. Back then, there was no online gradebook, so teachers had to manually record students' grade on paper, opposing to now, teachers have an online gradebook, which means they can type in the grades and send it into the system automatically. Back then, there was also no advanced math class, opposing to now, which has advanced math 7th, 8th, and 9th grade.
The next part of curriculum is social studies and science. The social studies textbook back then was titled Human Heritage, a World History. It had 13 units and more information in words. Now, our social studies textbook's title is World History, Medieval and Early Modern Times. It has 8 units and more information to pictures. Our science textbook back then was unknown. We could not find any information about it. And since it was unknown, we did not have any content that was discovered about it. Our current science textbook is 7th grade. For 7th grade, it is called Life Science. For 8th grade, it's called Physical Science. For content, it had 18 chapters and 6 units, and 3 chapters per unit.
The electives we had back then were woodshop, quest, and industrial arts. The electives that we have now are chess, drama, animal lore, AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. We also have yearbook, journalism, life skills, band, and guitar. The electives that we have both then and now are Spanish, art, leadership, and computer tech. Electives that are the same then and now are Spanish, art, leadership, and computers.
For the fourth piece of this presentation, we prepared a slide talking about architecture and surroundings. 25 years ago, the look and surrounding environment of the school was very different from today. Back then, there were 8 pods, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Opposed to now, there are 9 pods with an additional J pod. The pods A, B, and H are permanent. The rest are not permanent because to save money. The surroundings were mostly fields, grass, and dirt. There were no houses. There were vineyards, farms, and grape orchards. Now there are many houses, stores, and restaurants, and there are no farms or vineyards. Back then, there was much wildlife, rodents, deer, and raccoons. Opposed to now, there is not much wildlife. The school started to be built in 1989 to 1991. It was Quartana Road, opposed to now, it is Fowler Road. Now there is Evergreen Square, a popular place for students to hang out after school. The gymnasium floor changed 3 times. The school opened in September 1st, 1991.
Our next piece of information is technology. Technology has advanced a ton over the course of 25 years. Back in 1991, we had chalkboards, one computer in some classes, written homework assignments with no typing required, a physical grade book and attendance book, one phone in the office, walkie-talkies for the staff. They were a different model from today, and only admin and custodian had one. Students wrote in their agenda. Today we have whiteboards, projectors, typed homework assignments, 13 Chromebook carts of 30 to 35 Chromebooks. Each teacher has a laptop. There's 17 computers in the library. There's smartboards, security cameras, modern printers, document cameras, walkie-talkies for every staff member, and students check school loop for homework. Some things that are the same were that there was a computer lab, but then the computers weren't the same. There were fire alarms and air conditioning.
About cost. Prices of most of the items changed over the course of 25 years. Prices now for PE shirts are $12, and for PE shorts it is $15, and for lunch it's $3.25. For sweatpants the cost is $20, and for sweatshirts it's $25. For windbreakers for sports it's $70, and for locks it's $6. PE shirts and shorts then were $10. Sweatpants, sweatshirts, and windbreakers were not available, and locks were for $4.
Now we're going to talk about trends in 1991. There were a lot of fashion choices that they made that are similar to 2016, like choker necklaces, overalls, bandanas, cutoff jeans, loose-fitting clothes, scrunchies, IOU sweatshirts, holes ripped in clothing, intended or not, baby doll dresses, plaid, bell-bottom, tussled, berry lips, and for TV shows, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, Steinfeld, and The Cosby Show, and The Simpsons were very popular. For music, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, had his new single out, Dangerous, MC Hammer, Too Legit to Quit, LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out, and Roxette Joyride. For the movies, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. And also what came out was Disney's Beauty and the Beast, and then JFK, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and Addams Family. For books, Tuesday by David Weiser, Philo by Felice Reynolds Naylor, The Man from the Other Side by Yuri Orlev also came out in 1991.
Trends 2015 to 2016. Fashion: puffy sleeves, high-waisted jeans, crop tops, and skinny jeans. TV shows: The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, Arrow, and The Flash. Music: Panda by Designer, Cake by the Ocean by DNCE, and Work from Home by The Fifth Harmony. Movies: Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, The Revenant, The Big Short, and Avengers Age of Ultron. Books: Glass Sword, Lady Midnight, Prodigy, and Legend.
For our next piece of the presentation, we are comparing the Chaboya bell schedule. Back then, at school you should arrive no earlier than 7:15 a.m., whereas now you arrive no earlier than 7:20. First period starts at 7:40 like the usual for then and now, and dismissal back then was 1:55 opposed to now, which is 1:50. There were always 6 periods.
What differences do you see in the ID cards from 1991 to now?
Classroom appearances and tests. Over a span of 25 years, Chaboya's average classroom appearance hasn't really changed. Classrooms have always had wooden and metal desks, tables and cabinets, plastic and metal chairs, carpeting, fluorescent lights, large windows, dropped ceilings, and whiteboards. However, the testing of Chaboya has changed. Back then, students took the STAR test, which was based on the California standards. But now, students take the CAASPP, which is also known as the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. And this test is based on the new Common Core standards.
Student success stories. There are 5 people who made it onto this list. They are Paulina Edmonds, Gabby Sepulveda, Ariel Hassing, Juan Gamboa, Nider Morgan. Paulina Edmonds was in the class of 2012, and she was a 21 American figure skater and represented the U.S. in 2014 Winter Olympics. Gabby Sepulveda was in the class of 1991 and is an American Idol contestant of year 2016 after graduating Chaboya. Ariel Hassing was in the class of 2010 to 2012 and was in Summer Table Tennis Olympics. Juan Gamboa was in the class of 2009 and is the football player for Sacramento State Hornets. Nyler Morgan is in the class of 1994 and is the baseball outsider.
Leadership started from 1991 and is still here today. The 8th graders went to Disneyland and Santa Cruz and still go to Santa Cruz today. Some spirit activities in 1991 was short stay in the hot weather and cross-dress day. Today we have potato sack races, shady day, NBA day, and etc. Some instruments used in band in today are violin and clarinet, but back then there was no band. The student store was created in 1991 and is still active today. The minimum requirement for the Honor Society back then was 3.0 GPA and they could have 1 C. Today we have to have 3.5 GPA and with no C's, and you would go to the Santa Cruz boardwalk. To get lunch back then, you had to buy a lunch ticket on Mondays and Tuesdays. Today you can just go into the lunch line with your money and buy lunch.
Some rules for behavior back then. The first thing would be a warning. Second thing would be apology or detention. Third thing would be call home from teacher. And the fourth thing would be referral to principal. Now we have teacher warning and counseling, teacher action and teacher notification to parents, referral to assistant principal and an automatic U and report card, and referral to the assistant principal for further disciplinary action. And then you would have Friday school. The school website was made in 2009 and we still use it today.
This is the retired Chaboya staff.